but it's I would say, you know what, Punk,
maybe his wife will write the next Harry Potter book. Isn't she an author or something?
Yeah, she does have a book coming out, but it's not Harry Potter. It's
well, obviously,
it's a memoir.
But, like,
what is it? Crazy is my superpower. I think it comes out in a couple of months or something like that. But you know, it's I don't know. With Punk, I'd say, all right, you know, give him one more shot, and then like if he wins that fight, like, all right, you got some a little more credibility here. Let's keep this going. See how far we can go here.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I agree. Like if he loses that fight, maybe he goes to like a smaller MMA promotion. He's like, he still has fucking name value. Everybody's like, oh shit, CM Punk.
Well, that's the thing. He has name value, but I think he does actually have a little bit of past fighting experience. So, I mean, nothing like UFC or like hardcore or whatever, but I think he did train in other shit.
Yeah, he trained in like Brazilian jiu-jitsu and whatnot.
So, yeah, he definitely deserves at least another shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, it'd be interesting to see what happens, though, with him.
Yeah.
But, jeez, man. Well, there is one last thing I want to end this podcast on.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned the article there.
Yes. And this question goes out to anybody who voted for Donald Trump. What the fuck?
Which was not the majority of you.
Yeah, which is not the majority of you. But I do have to ask, what the fuck? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's an article on Huffington Post, and I know people are going to jump out, oh, that's a liberal paper. You're reading from a liberal paper. Why don't you read something the other side? Like, because then it's a concern. It's, you know what, fuck you. So, quote unquote, the title of the article, Donald Trump, I have the John, what was it? Not John Stewart. Oh, fuck. John Oliver, like, Trump attachment for Google, where it replaces Trump with Drumpf. Fucking love that thing. I still have it.
Nice.
Donald Trump admits U.S. taxpayers will pay for the wall, claims Mexico will reimburse costs. No. That's not... Like, it's almost like that fucking commercial. Like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. But the article says, President-elect Donald Trump said on Friday he intends for U.S. taxpayers to fund the construction of his proposed wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. That money, Trump tweeted, quote, will be paid back by Mexico later. And it's like, well, no, it's not.
Solid plan. Very solid plan.
No, it fucking won't. The tweet...
You know...
So,
oh, Jesus.
Man. Like, I was just going to be like, this thing just keeps going. Like, the tweet Trump wrote on Friday morning followed multiple reports detailing how members of his transition team have been working with congressional Republicans to come up with a way to use taxpayer dollars to pay for building the wall.
So we have to pay for it now, and then Mexico's going to pay it back later.
That's pretty much it. Like, he's, like, putting it right into a spending bill, too, so, like, we can't really fucking do anything about it. And since Republicans control the House, fuck it, they're going to vote with him anyways because of party loyalty. Go Republicans. Like, fucking Jesus Christ.
So I want to know if he or no one around him has ever watched YouTube and maybe at one point did a search of, like, President of Mexico, Donald Trump, wall, and seen the whole video about, like, he's like, I ain't paying for that shit.
Yeah, like...
And has anyone, like, taken their phone and been like, hey, Mr. Trump, just wanted to show you this real quick, and, you know, the president, I ain't, you know, paying for that shit. And, like, is he aware that it's not going to happen?
I don't think he's aware of anything right now.
It's so funny, too, because, like, he's probably going to end up not doing any of that. Because, I mean, this is the thing, and this is kind of why I was not okay with, but kind of more accepting of him being president, is that he's going to waffle on everything. And he's done that so far. He's eventually going to be like, you know what, fuck the wall.
Yeah. Either that or, like, the wall's going to get finished, or, like, you know, and he's going to be like, well, no, we have to paint it a different color. Well, we need to take a vote on what color to paint it. And that'll take, like, 5 fucking years.
Yeah.
But
so, I mean, this is kind of what I sort of hoped for, is that he would kind of do a whole lot of nothing because he would just keep bouncing from, you know, yes to no on everything.
You know, and like he even had like one of those like thank you tours, quote unquote, where he was going around to like all the voting counties and whatnot in the red states that voted for him and whatnot, and saying, "Oh, thank you for voting me president," blah blah blah. Like he even admitted like a lot of his shit was fucking bullshit. Like, oh, that drain the swamp. I thought it sounded cute, and then it kept saying it, and it sounded better and better. It's like, you're not fucking like, you're not. No, just stop for a second, because you said Hillary couldn't be the president because she gave a speech at Goldman Sachs. Meanwhile, your Secretary of Treasury is somebody that works for Goldman Sachs.
What is it? King Ross did say he's a hip hop a hypocrite.
Hip hop a hypocrite. Fucking.
Make Donald Drumpf again.
Yeah, make Donald Drumpf.
Yeah, man, and the days of when he becomes president, we're now less than 2 weeks away from him officially taking office, man.
Yep.
Can you believe that?
You know what, man?
Like, legit, has that sunk in? Because it really hasn't for me.
It really has.
That in 2 weeks, Donald Trump is taking office as president.
I'm just like, you know what, man?
It really hurts.
Fuck. It does hurt, and I just love how there's like all that hypocrisy in the country. It's just like, well, you need to accept it. He got voted in. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, let's rewind here to 8 years ago, when Barack Obama was elected president. You guys were up in arms, fucking rioting, bullshit. This is fucking stupid. Fucking, we didn't vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, so you guys are allowed to do that, but nobody else is. Okay.
Pretty much. It happens every time there's a new president. So.
Yeah, and like who was it? Grade A Under A made a great point in saying that, you know what, man, like when it came to the Democratic side, like Bernie Sanders was the fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, if you
but they fucked it up.
They fucked him over. Like they conspired and fucking like just said went through the fucking media who sponsored fucking Hillary and shit, just saying like, well, he doesn't have the experience. He's not the leader this country needs. Blah 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 blah.
It came in and went, because it's springtime for Hillary.
Yeah.
Poland for Bernie. Or winter for Bernie.
But yeah, like, who was it? Grade A Under A on YouTube made a point. He's like, imagine if you owned like a company or something like that, and a position opened up, like a higher position opened up, and it came down to these two candidates. You have one person who's been there the last like 5 fucking years, just staying late at night, is there every day, like doesn't take sick time, rarely ever takes vacation time unless like shit's really cool, gives you well in advance notice of it, and blah blah blah. And then you have the other person being Hillary, who doesn't really like start working harder until the position is available. Like, which one do you really go with? Like, I'm sorry, I go with Bernie on that one. It's like,
I mean, I guess we'll see what happens, right?
Where my country going?
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, a lot of people were hopelessly optimistic that the Electoral College was going to do something. A lot of people, were and still are hopelessly optimistic that he'll get impeached. I don't think that's going to happen. I think ultimately we're, just like every president, it's going to have to be taken on the collective chin of whomever doesn't agree with it. And I'm included in that. But, it all comes down to what the fuck are you going to do? You just got to ride it out and see what happens.
Yeah, but there was, who was it? I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. They did like this man on the street kind of thing, like asking like, the question was, is there anything that Donald Trump can do that you would not vote for him at all? Like that would take away your vote for him? And like, I think they interviewed like 10 different people. 9 of them said, nope. Like, really, what if he like killed a guy in front of you? No, that's fine.
But that's true for Hillary too, or any other candidate, I'm sure.
Like, if Bernie killed somebody in front of me, I'd be like, yeah, all right, like, let's call the cops here before he starts killing witnesses. But no, it's just like, and you had a guy.
Everybody has their bias, sir.
Everybody's got their bias, but I mean, when
it's just like our top 10 lists.
Yeah, they have their bias, but I mean that's a little differently. That's like goofy. Like, hey, these guys that that put on an entertainment show, they fucking like beat the hell out of each other. Like, ha ha ha. They go to the bar afterwards, drug a beer, and say, wow, that was kind of a good show. All right, good job. Like this is a little bit more high stakes, admittingly.
Yeah, we're gonna have a hell of a hangover in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A collective, massive, nationwide hangover.
Yeah, but it's...
that we won't come out of for like 4 years, at least.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't think Trump's gonna get assassinated. I really, really doubt that, because you really think about it, like his vice president, Mike Pence, he's a fucking retard too.
Well, that's the thing, is people need to realize that he's actually a lot better than the alternative, which is if he does get assassinated or impeached or whatever the fuck, that Pence is going to take over, and he's even worse.
Yep. But here's the thing, though, that if, Trump doesn't run again in 4 years and just says, all right, I'm done, I had my time, whatever. Pence is in, like, a good position in the Republican Party now.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he'd get in. He'd have to be able to win over the vote, and I think he'd have a hard time with that. Because people, who the fuck knows who he is? Like, right now, he's, the guy that Trump picked, this is VP, but aside from that, do people really know who the fuck he is?
Yeah, a lot of people, like, looked into him, they're like, wow, okay, so this is the dickhead from Indiana that basically passed a bill that said, okay, if you own a business, you can discriminate against fucking gay people or transsexuals and whatnot, and just say, well, it's against my religion to serve you.
But I mean, like, think about if, like, Joe Biden ran. Do you think he would get elected? I don't, because, like, aside from being the vice president who Obama picked, who the fuck is he,
Really, that's
it sort of goes back to, we'll compare it to wrestling. They need to have a good enough draw, and I just don't think that people like Joe Biden or Pence have enough of a draw, so to speak, to get nominated for the presidency. I think the only way someone like that would become the president would be if something happened to the existing president.
I don't know. You really think about it, like, Pence now has, like, 4 years at the very least to kind of, like, make a name for himself. As far as, like, being, like, a presidential contender. Like I said, if Trump says after 4 years, like, all right, I'm done. I've done everything to make this country great again, which, why wasn't it great before? Nobody bothered to ask him that. But he's got at least a 4-year head start to, like, try and get back into the White House in that sense.
Yeah, and that whole "Make America Great" thing, that's something that even Liz's mom hates. She's like, it is fucking great, shut the fuck up. And
yeah, it's great because a schmuck like him can run for president and theoretically fucking win.
Right. But I mean, going back to the Joe Biden comparison to Pence, like, Joe Biden was in that position for 8 years, and I still don't think that even having that 8 years experience that he would get the nod.
No, I don't think so.
So I don't think Pence would, even just with 4 years of experience I think even 4 or 8 years, if he were to run for president, I still don't think he'd get it.
No, but at least with, like, the 8 years of experience, people would at least listen to him. And just say,
Maybe.
All right, let's give you a shot. Let's see, what are you offering us?
I've always kind of viewed the vice president as sort of like the side piece of the nation.
Yeah, the sidekick.
yeah, like the Robin.
Yeah.
Like, he gets his own little sidecar in the bat cycle, but,
Holy Russian hackers, Batman!
Exactly.
Yeah, like...
Or like Superdog. What was the Superdog? Does Superdogs have a name?
Crypto,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Crypto the Superdog. I've always kind of viewed the VP role as like the crypto of,
Yeah, like he
politics.
He does some shit, but, not like the main focus.
Right.
But, oh my god, I just, and like here I am, like, people are saying, like, well, we could do a lot worse. I'm like, I don't know about that.
We could have elected like Michael Phelps, who I know is dead now, but
yeah,
or Fred Phelps, I mean,
Phelps.
not Michael. Michael Phelps is alive and well. He's the swimmer. He might actually be a pretty good president.
Yeah. But like I'm really curious.
He would swim us to freedom.
Yeah. But like I still have to ask, like with all this shit going on, like anybody that voted for Trump, like please, explain to me. I want to start this dialogue, and just say like, what the hell.